want to tell you a really positive story, and in this video I'm going to teach you and explain to you all of my life experience. I'm just looking at my computer here, how to get a date with a woman from a museum. So again, disclaimer, if that's the right word. I do get my words mixed up sometimes, right? I do kind of like that about my personality. Try and make an insecurity into a positive. So the advice I'm giving right now, just to cover myself and everyone, this is not for right now. Obviously, actually, you can't even really go to museums at the moment. If you're living in London, England, as far as I'm aware, all the museums are shut. All the main museums, the Natural History Museum, the British Museum, and the other museums. But hopefully, right, at some point we have to come out of this lockdown. And for guys that are single and you want a relationship, museums can be a great place to get a date. And I've done it several times. I'm going to tell you a story that was several years ago when I was working with a client, right? I've got two stories. One when I was with a client, and we both, it was great. We got into a conversation with these two really nice women in a museum, and we ended up all going for a date together. We went for a coffee for about 3-4 hours, and it was absolutely brilliant. It was really unreal. This is stuff that you couldn't write this in a book or a movie, right? So there was that situation, and I went on a date. I went on, I think it was 2 or 3 days. I wasn't planning it. I went just to walk into the museum. I was a bit bored one day. Maybe I was a bit lonely. I can't remember. I was in London, Trafalgar Square it was. Yeah, it was the Natural History Museum. I get the museums mixed up. And I went in there and ended up getting into a conversation with a girl from Russia who was travelling, doing a trip in London. And I was shocked she invited me. She asked me, did I want to go and do something with her, have a coffee with her, go on a date. And we went straight from the museum. We went straight on a date, and it was brilliant. And then we enjoyed it so much. We met up. She invited me the next day, so we went for another date on the following day. So it was two dates in a row. And if my memory serves me correct, and it usually is pretty good, I believe we went on another date. So we went on 3 dates, and then obviously she had to go back to Russia, but we stayed in contact for a while over WhatsApp, and that was great. And I haven't shared these experiences for years, so within these experiences I'm going to explain to you how you can do it, how you can get a date. Actually, it's not just for men. Women can also do this as well. It's exactly the same in reverse. Whether you're a woman and you want to go for a date or meet a guy, maybe if online dating hasn't been right for you, because I'm not a fan of it. So like I said, disclaimer, I'm not telling people to go out in public now. Obviously you can't because of lockdown, but what you can do is you can write down the tips that I'm giving you, and then when we come out of lockdown and the rules are back to normal and the museums are open and we're allowed to mix with each other, you can put this into practice and hopefully you can have a great date. Okay, so tip number 1 is, it really is about honesty. Honesty is the best policy. So when you go into a museum, one thing I would say, right, and especially the museums in London, and I can't speak on every museum around the world, but whatever museum you're going in, it's not wise. I wouldn't ask lots of women out in one museum, because some museums, they don't like that, and they throw you out, right? Because they might see it as disturbing people, because museums are a bit like libraries. But you can definitely ask one woman out. If you see a woman that you like, all you have to do is, or to start the conversation, is just, you can talk about the artwork, whatever's in the museum. That is a great way to start the conversation. And within starting the conversation through the artwork, that's what happened to me. I was looking at this artwork. I think it was by Leonardo da Vinci. I can't remember who it was. It might have been Van Gogh. I can't remember. It doesn't really matter. And this girl was looking at it, and I just said, "That's beautiful, isn't it? It's lovely." I said, "I don't understand it, but it looks great." And she was like, "Yeah, it's lovely." And then we just got into a conversation, and then because we had good chemistry, I gave her a compliment as well. I said, "You look really nice, where are you from?" And then she was like, "I'm from Russia, where are you from?" So that's the tip to start with. You know, you just want to be honest. You obviously want to be intelligent. I would say as well, you want to be relaxed. You don't want to be shouting in the museum. Obviously, there are rules, they can throw you out. So nice and calm. Again, like the advice that I gave of giving a compliment to a woman in the street, honest, respectful, genuine, easygoing. Don't try and do all that kind of stuff, silly pickup lines. Just be yourself and just be genuine. Just as normal as possible. And it's really great because I find the museum can actually really build you a good connection. And then if you enjoy the conversation, you can, like what happened to me twice actually, maybe 3 times. If you've got time, you can go for a coffee in the museum. Most museums have a coffee place. All of the ones in London do. Or you can go outside and go for a date. Or if the girl hasn't got time and you ain't got time, you can exchange telephone numbers, or you can exchange WhatsApps or Instagrams. Then you can set up a date another day. So you don't have to go on the date on the same day. And the great thing is as well, if you do like museums, and I love museums, I didn't used to when I was younger, right? But if you like museums and you like art, then you've already got something in common with the girl, because you both in the same place, more likely for the same reasons, and it gives you something to talk about. So you can still obviously compliment a woman in a museum, like I said, I've done it, but you do want to be relaxed, and and that's really it. That's how you do it. That's how I did it. Now, like I said, when I went on the date with the Russian girl, she actually asked me out on the date. I started the conversation in the museum. I pointed out the artwork because I thought it was great, and she looked nice. And within a couple of minutes, she said, she asked me where I was from. I told her where I was from and stuff like that. And then she said, "Do you want to go and get a coffee and sit down?" And I said, "Yeah, sure." And then I took her to a nice place. I think we went to a pub in the end because we couldn't get a seat. And we went to a pub. It doesn't matter, coffee shop, pub, whatever suits both of you. And then we just got on really well, like I said. And we ended up going on 3 dates in that week. I think it was during the summer. I can't remember. It was this was probably about 2 years ago, year and a half ago. The situation when I was with a friend, when I was with a client, and I was teaching, we were actually just going to the museum anyway to have a look. And I can't remember how it started, but no, my friend actually, my client at the time, he just started a conversation with the ladies, 2 of them, and said, "Where are you from?" And straight away they're warm. They told us where they're from. I can't even remember. I'm trying to think where they're from, if I remember. I think one was from Russia, and the other one I think was from Italy. I'm not 100% because this was quite a few years ago, and we just got into a great conversation. We had a great laugh, all 4 of us. There was a great chemistry, and they trusted us. They knew that we were good guys. And then my friend actually got speaking for about 45 minutes in the museum, and then we said, "Would you like to go and get coffee?" And then I took everyone, went to a coffee in a nice hotel, and that was just amazing. That was such a good connection. And then we went our separate ways. We just had a great coffee and about a 3-hour conversation, and we did exchange numbers, we did stay in touch, and we didn't end up meeting up again, but that was it. So the way that my friend did it was the same as me. He was honest, he was genuine. He started a conversation, we started talking about the art, and then we just all got to know each other. So it's all honest, very natural, nothing extravagant, nothing out of the ordinary, no lines. I don't believe in using lines and tricks and all that kind of stuff. I'm not into that. For me, it's all about honesty, respect, confidence, and great social skills. And that's the thing about it. You want to use good social skills, guys and girls, if you're going to go out to a museum and you want to get a date from a museum. Like I said, you want to be genuine, and obviously you got to keep your voice at the level that is kind of the same as everybody else. So it's just speaking a little bit calmer, slower, and just be friendly, like I said. And if someone is not interested in you, just go, fine, have a great day, I respect that, and you can walk off. So yeah, you can't really go wrong. And when you're in cities like London, probably the same as America, New York, or other parts of Europe, and probably other parts of the world, around the world, there are lots of like tourists. That's why I love museums in London. You get people traveling from all around the world, and some people really are out. If they're traveling, they do want to meet people. They want to go out. They want to meet someone that's from, the mother tongue. That they want to meet a native, someone who lives in that country. So that's another great way as well of meeting people, and it really is a great place. If I'm being honest, it's one of those probably hidden gems. It's probably better than online dating. I'm telling you, probably more women and men would find love and would probably develop a meaningful relationship from museums, because they've got good atmospheres, and you feel safe. A woman feels safe in there, because obviously there's security in there as well. So let's just say, worst case scenario, that you did get speaking to a woman and she didn't feel comfortable, then you can respect that, and you can say, I didn't mean to make you feel like that, have a good day. She feels safe because there is security in the museum. It's a lot more safer in that regard. So that's it. That's how you do it. That's as simple as it is. And remember, well, like I said, you can't go in museums anyway, they're closed. But hopefully, when we're all hoping soon, we're all praying that when the lockdown comes to an end, we can go out back as normal. And I can't wait actually to go to the museum again. They're beautiful in London, all right? And if any of you have ever had a date or had a girlfriend, because a lot of people do, guys, girls, let me know in the box below. I always like these success stories, all right? Become fearless, like, share, subscribe, and thank you for your support.